Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're going to be watching Contact today. Kimmy here.
Mom here.
Storm here. So this movie came out in 1997. Mom and Kim, do you know anything about this movie? Have you heard about it before?
Never.
They're completely blind to it. This came out in 1997. I did see this a long time ago. Again, I don't think I saw the full thing. I think it was on TV. I don't want to influence you guys, so we will read a little description about it. You did see when I put it up on Amazon that Jodie Foster is in it. We like Jodie Foster.
That's great.
And Matthew McConaughey.
Well, good.
Ooh,
Not that one's better than the other, but we really like him
No.
too.
Yeah.
So we have James Woods. I think of Family Guy when I hear James Woods. Sorry. Tom Skerritt.
Oh, good. Top Gun.
Yeah, I like him.
Okay,
I think of Ted when I hear his name. And William Fichtner. We know him too. Yeah, we've seen him and stuff. John Hurt. Angela Bassett, we know her.
Yeah.
We know a lot of people in this. Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe,
Yeah.
And Jake Busey. Kind of looks familiar. And David Morse. We definitely know
Oh,
him.
we just
Okay,
saw
yeah.
him in Green Mile.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I love the movies we watch on this channel. It's just amazing. Thank you guys for all your requests. You can request anywhere on Patreon. It's the best because we definitely see it and we add it to our list. And we have polls almost every Monday through our Patreon. So thank you for voting, requesting. Like,
thank
we
you.
really enjoy what we
Yes.
watch, all because of you
Okay.
guys. And this one, I will go back to Amazon. Or before I do that, Contact is a 1997 American science fiction drama film directed by Robert Zemeckis. And we know him from Back to the Future,
In the future.
Forrest Gump,
Oh, wow.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit, so he's a big deal. Great
Yes, he is.
director.
Yes, sir.
Good. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too.
So Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey star in this gripping story of a radio astronomer who receives the first extraterrestrial radio signal ever picked up on Earth. And I'll hide the video so you can't see it.
Oh, I'm very interested.
Yeah, me too.
I wonder if they're going to
What's
really
out there?
actually have contact with them.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
And we're going to be watching on Amazon today.
Okay.
Contact. That was so loud.
Through the years, back in time.
Just so freaking amazing. Just
It's-
we're so freaking tiny. I just
Yeah, Micah.
boggles the mind.
Copy that, K4WLD. How's the weather down there in Florida?
Pensacola,
great.
Florida.
Dad, could we talk to Mom?
Oh,
Good
Ellie,
picture.
that's a
Did a good
beauty.
job.
These in the lines too.
I'll get some sleep.
I'm gonna need a bigger antenna.
Oh my goodness, look
She
at
eventually
that.
got one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
There would be literally millions of civilizations out there.
Can you imagine that?
Imagine, whoa, yeah.
She's been busy.
Yeah, I was. He died when I was 9 years old.
Oh, wow. So young. Right
I
after.
never got to know my mother.
Yeah, I can love.
Oh, he was mean.
I had a feeling.
Got that feeling, just slow
Oh my
motion, because you
God,
just
yeah,
have
that's
the
right.
worst feeling, knowing
That's right.
which
She
one.
was having a lot of meds.
All those people there, like no one's talking to her.
That's right, my gosh, you
9
know.
GFO. Do you copy?
Kremlin pulled the plug. We're homeless.
Oh my gosh. Cool.
There's nothing out there but noble gases and carbon compounds, and you're wasting your time.
I do believe that there's life out there like that.
Oh,
You
it
know,
has to
someone
be.
has to
We're here.
discover it at some point. Yeah.
And we're on this planet.
Try begging for some of that Hollywood money. Why not? They've been making money off of aliens for years, right?
Okay.
All I'm asking is for you to just have the tiniest bit of vision. You know, to step back for 1 minute and look at the big picture. The truth is, you're my last chance, so I'm sorry I wasted your time.
Doctor, you have your money.
Ah,
Good, yeah.
Big man saw it.
How incredible! Just moving all the satellite dishes like they're so
God,
massive.
Oh, something's going on.
What is that? Either footsteps. Heart.
Oh my God, it's walking off. They come and going.
He can't even react to it.
All of a sudden. Whoa.
How exciting!
Oh my God.
Polarized set of moving pulses, amplitude modulated.
Are we recording?
Never stopped.
Thank you, Elmer.
AWAC status is negative. It's only 26 light years away.
Hey, what's the peak intensity? Coming
Only.
up. Vega.
Well,
Just stop.
wow.
There's no way that's a natural phenomenon.
Holy shit.
Okay, let's just calm down and pull up the star file on Vega.
It gives me the chills.
Yeah.
So freaky.
System is
Well, not if they use their laser blasters and photon torpedoes.
That's not funny, Willie.
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
Excitement in the air.
Doctor, with all due respect to your scientific knowledge,
Hey. I'm so glad you're back. Rotate 90 degrees counterclock.
Yeah.
Hitler.
Get me the White House.
What an image to get back.
Yeah, right?
Ambassador to outer space. I'm turning you over to the leader of the scientific team that made this remarkable discovery, Dr. David Drumlin, Special Science Advisor to the President.
Are you serious?
I remember that song.
Because of you, Ellie.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Next time, Vegas.
Hitler lives.
Yeah, my God. Oh, there's Elvis.
He came back.
Yes.
Viva la Vega.
Yes, of course.
Ah,
Where's the primer?
Jeez.
You see.
We now have the symbols for true and false.
This was the key that allowed us to decipher
Don't
their
interrupt.
language.
No, he gets,
Yeah, you didn't do any of the work.
Yeah, that's what he wants everybody to think.
My hope here is that we can find a common ground, break through any obstacles that may have kept us apart.
And I need to make one.
Double meaning.
Do you know where I can find like a really great dress?
Very great dress.
Her eyes lit up when she saw him.
Oh my God.
Ooh, nice.
Whoa, wait. Oh, look at him.
So what's more likely?
Oh, good, he's doing that. That's
Yeah.
good.
An all-powerful, mysterious.
Oh.
Before everyone had phones. I saw that.
That's right, yes.
Oh my God.
That's insane.
Isn't it?
It's like an atom, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Hi. Yum, yum, yum. He's so lovey.
Baby.
Oh, is that the religious guy?
Oh,
fake
yes,
guy?
it is.
Yeah, this guy, he shouldn't be there. I know him.
Jerry?
He has a great look, too.
Oh
so
my
sinister.
gosh, if you're thinking, oh, you son of a bitty. Look at him. Oh, my
flipping
God, he's a
bomb.
freaking bomb.
Oh. You're gonna go see your God now.
God. Oh,
Oh my God.
oh my God.
Oh, and then all these people are gonna think it's something else.
Oh.
Why build one when you can have two twice the price?
Twice the price.
This
My
one can be
God.
kept secret.
Spare no expense.
Want to take a ride?
Oh my God.
Awesome.
Oh, jeez.
It's your barf bag.
Communications? Go. Life support?
Go.
Oh,
Ellie, we are
let him
going
in.
Yeah.
Something.
Oh,
I can't tell
jeez.
whether it's daylight or night. It's bordering on translucence. The
Ooh.
system's intact. There's gotta be some kind of...
Jeez.
All vibration and G levels are in the
I'd be doing this. Thumbs up.
Oh boy, yeah.
Ooh, it's pulling the ship in.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
The Rainbow Bridge.
Wow, it's bringing her right there.
Oh my God.
Vacuum tube.
Oh, okay.
Alternate realities.
My God.
Oh. It's just that motion sickness.
Oh my God.
Is that breaking? Breaking apart?
Oh.
Oh, her picture that she drew. Pensacola.
It's her father.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They're finally seeing the shoot the stars together.
Whoa. What?
We're still trying to determine the nature of the malfunction, but the important thing is you're okay.
What?
It's all right, Ellie. You didn't go anywhere.
I did. I did go. That's what I've been trying to tell everyone.
The IPV dropped straight through. Everyone who watched saw exactly the same thing.
Oh my God.
Nothing happened.
She had a spiritual event.
Yeah, I
How do you
think so.
explain this, Doctor?
I, for one, believe her.
The fact that it recorded static isn't what interests me. It's that it recorded approximately 18 hours of it.
Poor Carl. Very talented.
That's very good, yeah.
I gotta say, the acting was great.
Oh, it's terrific,
Jodie
terrific.
Foster
Yes.
is
Yeah.
amazing. And
A+.
Michael McConaughey is just
That was-
equally as talented.
Definitely. My gosh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious on what you guys thought.
Carl, the novelist,
it
must have died.
It was awesome. I really liked it. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's really.
It was amazing. I mean, science against faith.
That's
And
right.
really, it was the people put it against each other. And even though it was science driven, in the end, she had faith.
Yeah, she did.
And it was, they come to find out, you know, confidentially, the government knew it had 18 hours of static. So
yeah.
something needs to be accounted for.
That's for sure. Definitely.
So that's the biggest question.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that she actually did travel somewhere? Do you think it was just an illusion, that she just made it up on her own because she was so passionate about this whole project? Do you think she just fell all the way through and nothing actually happened?
I think something did happen because it was 18 hours recorded.
Even before we knew that.
I thought
Before
she
we
was.
knew that?
I thought she was traveling. And the wormholes, you know.
Even when
Does
they
it
were
sound like
questioning it?
Yeah, even when they were questioning it.
How about you, Kimmy?
I completely believe her because she was a skeptic on faith all along. You know, she had her mother died when she was born. Her father died at 9. That was her whole life. He embraced her love of astronomy and science, and that was what she went to school for. That was her whole life. That was her whole, you know, work. And in the end, with the whole nation looking at her and she's still saying, yes, as a scientist, I don't believe, it does seem like it's a hoax, but I still believe it. If she believes it, as the character believes it, I believe her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's really hard too, because honestly, here you have a lot of division where people believe different things. Like you have people in faith, people in science, you have a mix of the two.
Yeah.
And a lot of people debate new things. And this was very scary. It was very exciting, very scary. I mean, we have this technology that we were able to build. I'm saying we as humanity were able to build. And really, like when it comes down to it, it sounded very believable that it could have just been a hoax, that you have these super rich people who have the money and maybe they want the fame, they want something out of it.
Yeah, good.
So it could have been an elaborate hoax. So it really makes you think, especially when there's more facts against you. Sorry, Mario, I almost fell off the couch. But especially since you rolled over, that like when you have more facts against you, it's so easy to make that person look like they're crazy. And she is a very good scientist who, from the start, she discovered this. She really isn't crazy. Like we can see that she really follows facts, really does her research, knows what she's talking about. But she's so strict with that to completely be so different at the end, to have this experience she can't even explain. I mean, if she was on the other end of this, watching, like she probably would have said the same thing and would have interrogated that person and been like, well, there's no real facts.
Mm-hmm.
So
right, yeah, she would have been just as, skeptical. Yeah. And yeah, she definitely should have been. She would have been just as skeptical as Kitts was.
Mm-hmm.
She would have been just spewing out, really?
Yeah.
This can't be.
I mean,
are you sure?
Until she has the facts. And that's why I really enjoyed her and Palmer together, because immediately I would think, seeing those two, seeing this movie for the first time, that they would just be like bashing heads the whole time, having completely different beliefs. But even he was open-minded and challenging her on her ideals and, asking even about the father. Well, prove that you loved him. Because it's a feeling.
Yes.
You can't always have physical proof in front of you. And even her debate when she got passionate about airplanes and other technologies, she didn't say about the Earth being flat, but people still believe that.
It wasn't science fiction.
And people just, until you have facts in front of you, people will just believe that and just assume everyone else who has a different mind and open-minded things is just crazy until proven. And even so, it'll take a mass amount of people to believe it, to make it true. And Palmer has a really good ideal where he's just like, I'm all about finding the truth. It's about finding truths.
That's right, yeah.
So I like how he even said that at the end to the whole crowd, where we have a different covenant, but we're both trying to find truths in this,
Mm-hmm.
So that was speaking honestly, and I agree with him.
And it was great for everyone to hear that, him say that, because he is a great spokesperson for faith, for him to have an open mind with that.
Yeah, and he was an opponent of hers for a while too. Like they were adversaries in a way. They were challenging each other and trying to get that position, and completely just on different fields. So I really do like how he said that, and all the way through, like they had a really good connection, and they could both see their views kind of, or at least be kind of open to it, lenient, not like angry and arguing with each other like you're wrong, I'm right kind of thing. Like they kind of like smiled and challenged each other with that. So I like that dynamic as well. And this whole movie, did you think these were actual aliens contacting Earth? Did you not believe it mostly? Like, what do you guys think?
Like, do you think it was Haddon the whole time?
No, not even Haddon. Like before they even implanted that in our heads, like just watching the movie with the first signals that we heard, did you actually think they were from a different civilization off-world? Did you think it was just a coincidence?
I thought maybe, we're a planet. And there's life on here. There's got to be another Earth like this out there too.
More intelligent life or something?
Yeah.
I believe it. I mean, she tried. I mean, she worked night and day for years trying to get the funding, trying to get, radios out there and communications out there. And she was so passionate, and her team was so passionate. I believe it. You know, some people thought, you know, she was, you know, a dreamer of sorts to think this was really a thing, and, you know, pulling the funding for her right off the bat and then gobbling it up when she gets, you know, a hit. It's just, I felt bad for her, you know, as a professional. She was, you know, really hit bad on multiple levels, military wise. Everything.
Huge challenge every single time, and no matter what, she pushed through it. And the greatest discoveries, I mean, usually happen that way. I mean, you have to really fight, and you have to have the drive to keep pushing through it, because most people do give up. I mean, not to be negative about it, I mean, it just takes a really strong person to do it to multiple levels. I mean, financially, your life. I mean, you can't even have a normal relationship, or you can try to have a family, but it's just so time consuming, and the dedication there, it's just incredible, and all the risks that you can take doing this, like all the money you can lose. There's just so many things.
Your reputation.
Your reputation.
That was probably the biggest thing.
For her to keep going forward with this, no matter what, no matter how many things were against her, she just wanted to keep going with it. Like, even people that sided with her, I mean, Kent was with her from the start, and he even started giving up because they tried everything. All the funding was getting ripped away from them, and he was even done, but she just couldn't take that. She had to find out. And something like that, I love hearing about this, because even them talking in their science lingo, like, we get it to a certain extent. Like, it's enough where we can follow it. They're showing us visuals and everything all the way through, and then, you know, saying their mumbo jumbo and then saying it in a way where we can understand it too. So that was really cool. And no matter what, how she says it, space is huge, you know, to really simplify it. And billions of stars, every star could have its own solar system, different planets, you know, like one of those planets could have civilization, maybe multiple, just because we have one Earth. I mean, now I'm extending it where I think we do have intelligent life. At least I hope we have actual life outside of Earth, because I really do think it's a huge waste of space if that's it. You know, I mean, we have a big planet, but we don't even know, look at my background here, but like the grand scale of everything. We have no idea. We could just be in a grain of sand on some planet. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so insane when you really think about it. So, I mean, there's so much money put into it too, but when people challenge the idea of, well, we're just wasting money, we're never going to discover this in our lifetime. Well, if no one ever picks it up, it's never going to be done. No one's ever going to research this and check off the places they checked. But even so, like, they were in Vega before, and they never had a signal, and it was just the timing, and this signal was sent, I think she said around 26 years ago or something like that, and it must have just reached them. So it's really cool to see this. I mean, I'm hoping in our lifetime we can discover something like that. I don't think so, but I'm hoping sometime in the future we can actually discover something good. Hopefully no invasion or anything crazy.
Yes, please,
I mean, there's so much.
It was mind-boggling, and especially when she finally did have communication with them after her experience, and you see the same people in the same station. I'm like, okay, because they were talking about she'd be 4 years older, and then when she returned, if she returned, and everyone, it would be 50 years later for everyone else, and everyone's there. So I'm like, okay, well, that didn't happen really. So
I'm glad you brought that up.
It was mind-blowing to see that.
Yeah. So what was your initial thought when she fell through that whole contraption, that whole machine, and then they're asking, is she okay? Like, did you realize or think at that moment it never happened, that she just fell through? Because you knew about the 50-year jump. At least that was their theory, you know? So at that moment, what did you feel? Do you think, oh my God, it actually didn't happen? Right when they were asking if she was okay, right when she crashed through?
No, I thought she experienced it, and they finally got through, because she was going through all those wormholes. I thought it actually happened until they panned out to the station. I was like, those are the same people.
Yeah. So I did hear one of you say that, like, oh, maybe it didn't happen. So I think just right in that moment, I know I felt like that when I first saw this movie, because that was the feeling. That's what I like about this. It makes you even question it, whether you're scientific or faith or both. I have both, and it's just, I do get very scientific, though, and I want facts, but I know it's not always about facts, because there's so much that we don't know yet that we're still discovering, we're going to keep discovering. So I just love hearing theories, and I just love science, and so I thought this was really cool. But when it first fell through and we saw the same people, I thought the same thing. I'm like, it was supposed to be 50 years ish, which I didn't think it was going to be exact, because again, even though science can explain so much, we still, I mean, there's so much other science out there that like we haven't even discovered yet, that I'm sure we don't know, because even this machine, the way they were describing that, they couldn't even explain exactly what was happening or what would happen or the follow through afterwards. So it was just really fun to see all of this. And right when she fell through and they're asking if she's okay, I'm like, okay, it hasn't been 50 years. I know that could have been wrong, but it was instant. Did she actually go through? And I really doubted that for a while and thought that maybe she did imagine it. And I was like, are you kidding me? Or maybe she did have a connection where she touched the heavens or something and was actually able to talk to her father. But in that conversation, her father actually said, we thought this would be easier for you. Because they know wherever they are that it would be too much for a person to take in, for a human to take in, because there's just so much to know out there. I mean, I wish they gave her some evidence to bring back. The static is there, but they're so advanced. Maybe they know all the different outcomes, maybe from stuff they've tried in the past, that if she did come home with something, it would have to be something so extraordinary that doesn't happen on Earth, that it could alter and damage humanity, Earth, or something, or someone would use it as a weapon. I don't know, or disease. Maybe we'll have some kind of crazy reaction to whatever metals, or I don't know. But what do you think? Do you wish that they gave evidence? Do you think that was
just
enough?
Just a little skosh.
Just a little bit, just something. Just
they could glow in the dark and a cool skin or something.
Had in his, even the sand he had.
I mean, they didn't even think she'd only be gone for a fraction of a second. If anything, they need the proof that, okay, at least she was gone for 4 years. Not there 50, but 4 years for her, and it was not even opposite. It was completely, I mean, it was backwards, but only a fraction of a second on Earth. Like maybe she aged enough where they could tell that was 4 years, or maybe she aged a decade and she has a little bit of gray hair or something like that to really tell that time went by. But I'm glad that wasn't the case. But there's like no facts there, because a fraction of a second, that's so unbelievable. So that is so cool about the static. I freaking love that. I got chills when I heard this the first time. And I'm like, what?
And there you go. It's confidential. It's government hiding, because they don't want mass chaos. They don't want people thinking, oh, now we really ruined something. You never know what these people are going to think. I mean, look at the guy who had he was a suicide bomber. He was preaching up a storm about God, and looking down at her and, being so cynical to her, and come to find out he was a terrorist.
Yeah.
That's right.
He had the best evil, crazy
didn't
face.
he?
I know, he looked great.
It was really,
I don't know why, because it's nothing like Biff from Back to the Future, but he kind of reminded me of Biff's crazy face. Right? I'm like, oh my God, he's Biff. That's a religious, crazy terrorist guy. But he was terrible. And, faith is great, but it also can be very scary when people...
Extreme.
When the extremists and stuff, when they really brainwash people to believe a certain way and killing others for the greater good. It's just a terrible notion.
That's horrible.
I mean, he killed all these people, just to make sure it didn't happen, to make it look negative, and killed so many people.
Right, so he doesn't, start an apocalypse.
And honestly, you don't even know what this machine can do. It could be a nuclear weapon, so you blowing it up could have killed the Earth. Who knows? I mean, that would be a huge bomb. But they were even debating that in the beginning, first getting these schematics, saying well, we don't even know if we're building a bomb or a transport for an invasion.
And that's the whole thing. You're building something, the most expensive thing ever in history.
That's right.
You must have a little faith too in it.
Yeah.
I mean, really, if you think about the entire world, I mean, you put all this funding, and governments put funding into this, and you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
you're putting a little faith into it too.
So that was one of my big questions that was reeling in my head a lot throughout this whole movie. So let's pretend this is real, and there was an actual signal that we heard on the news, very similar to this, and they got schematics to make this machine. Now, would you oppose that and be like, no, they should absolutely not build that machine because it's too dangerous, or would you be curious and be like, ooh, like try to think about it in the now, in real life, or would you think that you would be against that and you wouldn't want that to be a thing?
Yes, I would absolutely say no to it. No, it's dangerous and too unknown, you know? I wouldn't want to go into it.
Yeah. And that I think that's a legit point, you know? What about you, Kim?
I personally, like, if this happened today and it was happening in the now, with all the information they had, it would be a tough call. I mean, I'm not sciencey and I'm not faith based, so I don't know. I think I would go for it. I mean, if the government is willing to put the funding to it, and another species, another life form out there is trying to reach out to us and give us a map of, you know, if you will, to reach to them, to communicate, I would go for it.
It is such a hard debate, and guys, please leave your comments below too, because I love asking you guys first, and then I kind of debate it in my head at the same time during, and I'm like, well, my first guess is I'd be really excited and want to know, but honestly, I do question a lot of things. I overthink a lot of things, and I think I would be like opposed because there's too much risk there. That I would think if they had such advanced technology, they might want our planet and might want to invade our planet and take over. So once you open up that door, there might not be any turning back, especially since we don't know the technology. I don't know, but I am so curious too. Like, I think it would be so cool to interact with other life outside of Earth.
It's scary.
It is very scary because of disease.
It is, because it's all
so
unknown.
many things.
It's all,
right.
you know, the first of many, you know, whatevers, you know, anything could happen. It could be detrimental. Financially, it could be detrimental. I mean, that was the most expensive mission ever. So, I mean,
and they built it twice. I love his quote too with Hayden when he's like, he goes,
maybe they should do government. They should do like privatize it, you know.
Yeah, he's like, why not
go ask Elon or someone?
Right.
But you know, make two for the price of two or something. I'm like, yeah, because like, woohoo, it's no problem. But that was so cool. I mean, like, how devastating was that when that first one blew up?
Yeah.
All hope was lost at that point. Weren't you guys like devastated too? Like you were disappointed, not only with the loss of lives, but this huge machine. The first time you could actually contact other life possibly, like was just completely demolished. And then that was it. Like they had no money to do another one. At least that was our thought at that time.
Right. And all those people that were killed in that too.
Yeah. And how bizarre of a machine and how it looked too. It looked like an atom or something.
It did.
Yes, it did.
And then just the thought of putting a human in between the rings as they're going so fast.
I was thinking that, yeah.
You know, and then just be suspended in the middle.
Whoa, wow.
Insane. One question I wanted to ask you guys, I didn't want to interrupt the reaction. When she was in that chair, did you notice when she watched the compass floating at one point and she said the wormhole is stronger than the others or more extreme or something? When she got off the chair, she was floating and it was smooth.
Yeah, that's right. And
the chair was violent. So I don't know if you heard, but they said at one point the chair was just added as a precaution, so it was not part of the schematics.
Oh, okay.
Humans added it because they wanted to record. They thought it'd be safer for her to be in a chair because I would think that'd be safe. She didn't have seatbelts. She had those weird things in the back that kind of made me claustrophobic because I'm like, how do you release that? But I know she knew how to do it, but yeah, so humans put that in, so that made it more dangerous because it was shaking a lot. And when she saw the compass like beautifully just calmly floating there, she realized, I'm supposed to be just floating in this thing. I'm not supposed to be strapped down to it because that's going to vibrate. I'm not supposed to. I'm safe in the middle of it. So I don't know if you guys noticed that when it happened, because then it crushed to the top when she got out.
It did,
and it was almost magnetic when it did it too. It was almost like you know, almost rejecting it.
Yeah.
That's something.
Speaking of magnetic, that was cool too with the magnetic field when it was like spinning around so fast at 100%. Then the ship was getting pulled in.
Yes, right.
It was terrifying. I love the ideas behind this. So with her traveling, I know you guys really enjoyed that. Thought that was cool. Like, what did you guys expect to happen? Like, what did you think was going to happen with her contacting? Was she going to even contact an alien? What did you think was going to be the outcome of this whole machine?
I think more or less she was just going to go into space and then come back. I didn't know if she was even going to be in contact with anybody.
Okay. Like just it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to think about.
Like that.
It is. It's crazy. I just thought she was going to actually go out and record, and she was going to have some connection. I actually thought she'd probably perish. I didn't think she was going to make it back. But I thought she would be satisfied when she got close to Vega or there, but she'd be satisfied of what her journey was.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and when I first saw this, I thought a portal was going to open up that we'd visually see, the humans would see, and she'd go through it. I didn't think we'd see travel. I thought she would just be on the planet and she was going to talk with someone there. I wasn't sure how that was going to interact, but I thought that interaction would happen. But it was so cool that she traveled through multiple wormholes to get there, and we got to see the galaxies and multiple wormholes, and her stretching from one reality, I guess, to another or something. God, we see a lot of that on her channel now, which I love.
Oh my God!
But her talking to someone, and I think it's been a while since I've seen this, but I think at first I was a little disappointed because I wanted to see what the alien looked like. But that's the whole fun thing about this movie too, is that you're not supposed to know. Less is more. And they couldn't even give her any proof really besides what they discovered with the static. So it was kind of neat that they had like a hologram or whatever it was to make, him or the alien look like her father. And it was gentle. One weird thing this time watching was with him kissing her and stuff, like a father. I thought that was so sweet, and it makes me want to believe it was him, but it wasn't. So that kind of conflicted with my emotions a little bit, where I'm like, this alien's kissing my forehead. I was like, is this safe? But overall, I love the idea of it, and the interaction was incredible in hindsight, and her being able to contact someone, the whole title, was just fun.
Yeah.
It was, and I loved how they placed her in Pensacola.
Mm-hmm. You noticed that right away.
Yes,
that was neat.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, how sweet. It's weird that they download your memories or whatever to know more about you, so it's kind of creepy. But yeah, I mean, they seem like a peaceful race.
It was almost like Adam. He did the same thing. He learned everything about her.
So that was creepy too.
You couldn't even think about that.
Yes, he was. Really.
Did he really do this? But I think that's
honestly that conflicts too. Yeah, it makes you question certain things. It really does.
Question too. Did he really? I mean, he was very eccentric. He was a man of, many means. Look, he died on a shuttle, a Russian shuttle.
Hey.
Yeah. I mean, he traveled all the time. He didn't like to be on the ground too much, and because of his cancer, that was crazy, wasn't it? That he had to be out in space.
It was.
So overall, you guys liked the movie?
Yes,
I loved it.
So.
Wasn't it great?
Jodie Foster.
That was great.
She was amazing. Honestly, acting again was incredible, and I really felt her emotions and her getting so passionate at the end, even through the experience of travel. I felt all of that. I was like, oh my God, you just get really pulled into the whole thing.
You do. I really felt like one of the saddest moments I saw with her, was in the White House debriefing, where she thought she was going to talk.
Oh, yes.
And she wound up not even talking at all.
Duran was talking.
Yes.
What a slap in the face.
Yeah, he sure did.
She had her cards. Right? Yeah. She was prepared. It was many deflating moments.
Yeah, I think it was David Drumlin, but close enough. Yeah. I mean, he... and he's just playing the game, and he's telling her as it is, but it makes him seem more like a dick the way he says it, because he's like, well, it is, it's like, well, this is the world we live in, and, it might seem unfair. It was totally unfair, and you're the one who caused it, so she had a good response back to him. Mm-hmm. He's the one who really caused it. I know people do that, but you did it too, and until you break that cycle, it's going to keep happening that way. And it just sucks that he took all her fame and glory. Not that she wanted fame and glory from it. She was so passionate about discovering life. Her father was into astronomy, and she really, was just so driven by that. And, she put so much of dedication, her life into this, for him to just be like, oh, whatever, and take funding away and say, oh, well, you're not going to find it in your lifetime anyways, and just take all the credit for it and interrupt her. She's the one who came up with all this crap, and you're it just really presses buttons so bad, right? It just really rubs you the wrong way, and just awful.
And another moment too was even Palmer. Palmer was in discussions with the White House more so than even she was, and he was a man of faith.
Yeah,
that's right. Yes.
So that turned me a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
like, why is he in these talks? And then he became, on the council, which was great because then she couldn't be on because she was a candidate. So
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
And he wasn't like, even though he was a man of faith, he still believed in science to a certain extent too. He wasn't full on like a priest or anything. So it was cool to have that.
Yes.
And he was more open-minded, so that's why I think they work so well together too, because I think Jody, or I think Ellie was actually more tunnel vision because it was all about science.
Yes.
Where he is all about faith too, but he is listening to the science part as well. So I feel like Palmer was more, Matthew McConaughey was more like into like open-minded more than she was in the beginning until he started questioning her, So one last question. Did you guys think that Palmer was just being selfish, or not selfish, but like he was trying to degrade or have Ellie fail at her interview because of Faith, because he was upset with Faith, or do you think he did it because of he didn't want to lose her? Which I know we heard later, but did you think that at that time?
I think that's he didn't want to lose her. That's why he was saying that.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment when he asked her that question in the hearing, I was so pissed off at him. I was like, how dare you?
Mm-hmm.
How dare you do this to her?
Yeah.
After, talking to her before and, asking her about her father and, getting into her head, like, oh, are we supposed to be together? We're not supposed to be, talking. And, I think he was just trying to get, some more kind of like validation of why he's going to ask that question in front of everyone. So she will fail. And, but then when he went back to the hotel, then I knew that, he did do it because he was kind of being selfish. He didn't want her to leave.
Yeah. I did think, well, at first I was surprised at that moment the first time. And I'm like, I can't believe he's doing this to her. She worked so hard for this. Why? And right after when he started looking down and you could tell it really hurt him to do it, I knew it was for selfish reasons because he didn't want to lose her, because when they discussed 50 years, they're never going to see each other again.
That's right.
So he didn't want that. Or anything, she's going to freaking die on her journey. It's going to be a really bad death. Who knows? You don't know what's going to happen. So I did believe that was the case, especially when he started looking down. Right when he went to the hotel, he was like, well, you didn't believe in faith. So it kind of made me debate, well, maybe that was the reason, but I kept thinking it had to be because he didn't want to lose her, because death, that's worse. 50 years, you're going to lose her that way too. So I'm glad he came back to her and said that, so she knew for sure. And then Ken coming back, like everyone that she cares about, that she
I love that guy.
He was so nice and coming back and
like a brother
before she left. And and he was amazing too, because being blind, it was great that he was in this field, and he could actually listen, and he has such an acute hearing talent that he could actually like pick up a lot of things faster than other people could.
And the lingo, I loved the bare bones, stuff they had in the beginning.
That's true.
Where they were just so driven, they're starting from, just waiting, listening, carving pumpkins to like.
That guy was so funny. He was so silly, like
crazy.
And until all of a sudden she comes running and we're like, we have to make sure you have to confirm this and this and then he's like, and at first remember like he was starting to do it, then he like panicked and he's like, I don't know, and he threw something at the other guy. He's like, help me.
And it almost kind of reminded me of the team with Twister.
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
When he was doing like the pool, fishing in the little kiddie pool, just kind of stuff like that, because they're just trying to, buy their time until the big moment.
Yeah, because you don't see tornadoes all the time, and this I think is really, because we haven't had life yet. So this is like discovery of life on another planet. So in this field, it's probably super boring most of the time. Like it's important work that you're doing, but it's super boring because you're not finding what you're looking for.
That's right.
But you find discoveries along the way, but not exactly what you're looking for. So like, you're probably BSing half the time too. Like you have the work there and you're just waiting.
And time's ticking, because that's grant money. That's, you're funding every day that goes by and you're not getting anything. People are getting more skeptical. So
you got to see both sides, because you have to make money too. And if you're just burning money and not actually getting results, I get that too. But I'm happy, like I want the science to keep going if it can, because you want to know, because you'll never know if it just stops. So I love how exciting that is, and to see the actual struggles these scientists go through to keep it going is insane. Like eye-opener too, because I know it's still a struggle,
And I kind of wish she had the name Sparks all along, because she did have spark all
Huge,
along.
yeah.
She turned in.
She just would not stop with her work.
Good for her.
I can talk about this movie all freaking day. I think this was such a wonderful movie. Guys, thank you for requesting this.
Thank you.
It just gives you such a good feeling, too. It just really makes you think, right? Like, of all the possibilities. So, guys, leave your comments below. Do you think there's life actually out there? Do you think we're the only ones? I don't know. I'm curious. Anything you guys want to add?
No, I just loved it.
Yeah, emotional too. It was really emotional. It was all about the people, really.
Yeah.
One last thing. I thought it was going to be about meeting someone earlier on in the movie. I thought that was going to be the main interaction, but it was all build up to that moment. Like that whole interaction was only at the end and not. You know, so it's just incredible. Very good movie.
Very good.
Thank you guys for the request. Thumbs up. You can check out our Patreon if you want to vote for movies, shows. You can check out our full reactions. We have a huge library there. Love you guys so much. We'll see you very soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Until next time.
Yeah.